What's up, YouTube? It's MmmMamaLikey, and I'm about to get political on your ass. Let's go! To begin with, I'm not really the biggest political person. I don't follow political races generally. I always vote ever since I've turned 18, but I just believe that politicians are kind of a lot of liars, and so, you know, I generally don't listen to their campaign speeches and whatnot, because they're just going to do what they want to do when they get into the White House. However, this year is different. I'm older now, and this has been such an important race. I've been paying attention from the caucuses through the, you know, the polling, whatever that's called, you know, when the campaigning, sorry, and now to the Democratic National Convention, which is what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. Thank God for YouTube, because without it, I wouldn't be able to see these speeches. It's wonderful, because the only one I managed to catch live was Hillary Clinton's, and the rest of them I've been watching on YouTube. And wow, these people can talk. How do you write a 27-minute speech? Granted, I'll admit that maybe 10 minutes of that is clapping and stopping, you know, for, you know, standing ovations, but still, they're long speeches. Anyway, but thank God for YouTube, because I've been able to catch a lot of these speeches on there. Starting with Michelle Obama's. I really, really like her. Like Laura Bush, I don't like her. She's cold and distant. I just don't like her. Barbara Bush, I liked her. She was cool. You know, she was no Jackie O, but I think Michelle Obama is. She's fresh, she's sincere, she's honest, you know, and not that I don't like Hillary. In fact, I really like Hillary, but you can tell Hillary's been through the you know, jumped through the fire hoops, and she's run the race and whatever, and when she speaks, it's a different kind of tone. I trust and like Michelle Obama. And on another note, they dress her very well, and I like her hair when it's down. She's very pretty. I thought her speech was amazing. It almost made me cry. She talked a lot about her family and her background with Barack, and that was wonderful. And then they brought the kids out, and she did a really good job. So I was very happy to see that. I wish I could have seen it live. But so I give my vote for Michelle Obama. Next up, the tribute that Caroline Kennedy did for Senator Ted Kennedy. She's not much of a speaker, but I was really glad to see her there. She looked great, and he did too. I liked his speech. I liked the things that he talked about, but I was just most impressed that he was there. You know, I thought that he'd be, you know, ailing in a bed somewhere, but he's there and he's with it, and, you know, he really inspired people by saying, it's amazing, you know, the connections that people have made in these campaign speeches towards their own personal life. Like, he was talking about, you know, overcoming obstacles, you know, personally, but he was also talking about overcoming obstacles that we have to by getting Democrats back in the White House. So I liked his speech, and I thought it was great that he was there. What's up with Maria Shriver being there? I thought she was a Republican now, because Schwarzenegger wasn't there, but she did look really good, as always. How sweet was it that they had Chelsea Clinton introduce her mom? I thought that was really, really nice. And she has grown up into a lovely young woman. Kind of a Sarah Jessica Parker type girl. Like, she can be really pretty, and then sometimes she's not so pretty, but just, you know, classy and elegant, and a nice young lady, and I really like her. And I thought that was nice that she introduced her mom. Hillary Clinton's speech was phenomenal. The woman, you know, she may not be becoming president, but she could be a public speaker for the rest of her life. For the rest of her life! Because she's so powerful and moving. She has such poise and grace in the way that she speaks. It's wonderful. She really just nails it. And this is coming from someone who, you know, my mother is an English teacher. I aced my speech classes. I was on the speech team in high school. You know, I'm an actor. You know, you can just, but you don't even need all those, I guess, credentials, whatever. You can just tell it when she says, "We need to elect Barack Obama." She doesn't say it like a shrinking violet. She says it like she means it with every fiber of her being. So I enjoy hearing her talk. Two of the things that really struck me about her two phrases that struck me during her speech were when she used the word fiscal sanity. I don't think those two words have ever been paired together before, not that I've heard, but I thought it was cool because, you know what, there is a lot of fiscal insanity going on. And also, when she would talk, or when, you know, President Clinton talked, and they described the state of the nation, we watch the news and we pay attention to things, but it's at points like these, when they bring it all together as a whole, you really realize how bad things have gotten in the last 8 years. So, you know, and fiscal sanity, that was one of the key parts of that. The other thing was when she was talking about Harriet Tubman and the quote of, you know, if you hear voices, keep going. If you hear dogs, keep going. If you see torches, keep going. I mean, I think that's going to become a new catchphrase, or it already has, for the Democratic National Convention. She's just such a powerful speaker. I love her. I don't know why they put her in those weird colors, though. Orange one night, and then robin's egg blue another. I mean, I know everyone thinks she's a bitch, but a black suit wouldn't hurt once in a while, don't you think? Oh, I also liked it when Hillary said, no way, no day, no McCain. She's like, I don't have anything against him, but yeah, it's not happening. Do we want 8 more years, or 4 more years of the same thing? Because Bush and McCain will be, ironically, having their, you know, convention in the Twin Cities next week, and, well, lately you pretty much can't tell them apart, so I thought that was actually really funny. So they gave her a good joke there. And finally, watching former President Clinton speak was amazing. He is also a powerful speaker, but they write better jokes for him. I laughed a couple of times. I thought the standing ovation that he got was phenomenal. And, you know, basically he had to tell people to sit down. We're never going to get through this. That was wonderful. I laughed so hard. My favorite quote of his was, and this is one of those quotes I think will go down in history, but people the world over have always been more impressed by the power of our example, not the example of our power. And it's so true. And the last 8 years have demonstrated that the example of our power does us no good. We are in the worst shape we've been in years, and he's so right. And he also looks good, but it's wonderful to hear him speak. And he said, you know, there's only one other person, Jimmy Carter, who was a former Democratic president, that can speak from his perspective. And, you know, he didn't just retire and go play golf. You know, Clinton's out there around the world doing, you know, AIDS work and all sorts of other things, and he sees it and he knows what's going on. It probably kills him too. So when he spoke, I mean, I sponged up every word that he said. I have so much respect for the man, and the way he went out of office, that's a whole other story, but was disgraceful and really nobody's business. But when he steps up there, it doesn't matter. Michelle Obama's great, Hillary's great, they're all great. When he steps up there, he gets massive amounts of respect, as he should, but I think it's wonderful. And he did a great speech. One of the other things that he mentioned that I liked, he said 16 years ago, you know, they looked at me and they said that I was too young and too inexperienced to be the president, and damn it. And he, you know, related that back to Barack Obama. Sorry, I'm still smoking. I'm going to take Chantix soon, I promise. But I thought that was a great point, too, because we had the best 8 years in the last, what, 30, 40 years with Clinton. You know, and so especially compared to the last 8 years. So that was a great point. The last thing I wanted to mention was that Hillary, Bill, and I think that it was Michelle Obama all included, when they were talking about rights for men and women and, you know, old people, and sexual orientation was included in there. Now, they may not be on the gay bandwagon, but they at least included it, which shows, as I talked to my therapist about today, progress, very, very slow progress, but progress nonetheless. Okay, YouTube, that's what I think about the Democratic National Convention. I may post again on this if I see a few more interviews. I'm waiting to see Barack speak. But what do you think? Leave your comments, leave your video comments, rate, subscribe, and all that crap. And basically, YouTube, this is MmmMamaLikey signing off.